try with the light on. I think we're getting a little bit of a shadow or something. All right. Nah, I don't like that light on. Kind of looks bad. All right, let me grab a drink here. Where's my water? And let the chat fill up. See if anybody wants to stop by. All right. So we are staring at a blank page today. Yesterday's live stream, I had already started a good portion of the drawing. And today, I guess I'm feeling confident enough to we're just going to dive right into it. I'm going to try to position this how I had it yesterday. It seemed pretty comfortable, but I don't know, whatever. So nobody's here now, but today's prompt is working from the Mobius-inspired Inktober list. Today's prompt is crystal. So I have a little bit of an idea here. You know, so one of the things I like to do is, I realize I'm standing right over the mic here. Let me back up a little bit. But I'll Google, you know, the prompt or whatever, just to see what kind of images come up. And stumbled across some images of crystal caves, and I thought that was cool. And then I had this idea of, like, what if I was in a crystal cave and then I was around a crystal campfire keeping warm? So I think that's kind of the premise I'm going to go with here. So I took a little reference shot. I set up a lamp and, you know, sat down next to it as if I was sitting by a campfire. And that's going to be our kind of starting position here, and we'll just go from there. Let's see. Probably want to start it towards the bottom because we want to have a good sense of scale on this drawing here. And it's not going to be one-to-one. We're going to cartoonify this a little bit. The simpler, the better. And cartooning certainly teaches you, if you pay good attention to cartooning, it's just a simplification of, you know, things you're already kind of familiar with. Right? Wampus. Okay. Let me do it on this side since I'm not drawing on this side. Wampus. There you go. What do I get for that? You gonna like and subscribe? Follow me on Instagram. You know what you could do? You could buy one of my books on my Shopify. I got the link in the description. I got 3 separate books. I have a comic book. It's called Gut and Ghost. It's about a pile of guts and a ghost and their roommates. He was the force. That's hilarious. Man, Chuck Norris jokes are making a comeback. What am I, in high school again? Hit me with a new one. I haven't heard that Star Wars one. What's going on, Caleb? Glad to have you. I'm glad to have all of you, actually. If you missed my little preamble at the beginning, we're doing another Inktober drawing. Working off the Mobius-inspired prompt list, and today's prompt is crystal. So my kind of vague idea going into this is I'm sitting in a crystal cave around a crystal campfire. Jada Smith, and then Will Smith then smacked her. That was a little weak. There's something there with it, but you got to play with that a little bit. It's you can make a topical one like that. I think it's necessary to bring Chuck Norris jokes back. You got to make it contemporary. Can I write Among Us? I'll write Among Us if I see a notification show up that you went to my Shopify and ordered my book. Then I will write Among Us. It's only $5, $7 shipping and handling. But I got 3 books though. I got a comic about a pile of guts and ghosts and the roommate. Their light goes out. They need to change it. You like and subscribe. All right, I'll write Among Us. You like and subscribe, and you got to stay subscribed, okay? I like engagement. I like you being here. All right. Is this some sort of scavenger hunt you're doing on the internet? Boy, I ought to like make a super chat if I'm getting ordered around or something, man. I could at least get like $1 or $2 for this, you know? But that's all right. I'm glad you guys are here. I got to get some drawing done, though, you know? And if you like this pen, if you're, I know you're not after, you're probably not a pen guy. You're what's that? My kid likes that game. I guess it's just called Among Us, right? You're an Among Us internet guy. But if you are a pen guy and you're just trying to see how good this pen writes, this is the Pilot Prera fountain pen, and it writes beautifully, and it draws beautifully. It's like ice skating on paper. Chuck Norris can smell. Okay, all right, I like that. He can see John Cena and smell what The Rock is cooking. Okay. Let me ask you this. Could Chuck Norris microwave a burrito so hot that he himself couldn't eat it? The ultimate conundrum of an all-powerful being, you know? Surely if he was all-powerful, he can make something more powerful than himself. Then he would no longer be all-powerful. The water gets Chuck Norris. That's... I think I've heard that one before. That one might be a 15 to 20-year-old one. Thanks, Brandon. You have a good one, too. I'm glad someone's, well, I don't know if glad, but it's cool to know that somebody's so deep into nostalgia they're keeping the Chuck Norris jokes alive. I don't even know it's ironic anymore. I guess if Chuck Norris did build a hospital so his mother could give birth to him, that's a very similar situation to the burrito. So, yeah, all right. Fair answer. Answer me with a parable. I do not play Fortnite. The last video game I played was, well, like, new video game was Fallout 4, and that was, like, right before I had a kid. I don't really have time for him anymore. I started playing a little bit of Firewatch a couple weeks ago. I haven't dove back into it. And that was pretty fun, but the only thing I got out of that is, like, I started going for walks in the real woods because it was so peaceful. I was like, boy, this is probably really nice in real life. But I do want to finish that game. I was very intrigued by what was going on. It was I liked the atmosphere of it. I mean, I don't know if I could, like, teach somebody how to draw, because a lot of it is just like, you know, you just have to practice, and you have to do all that boring foundational stuff. And I've been doing this for, I mean, I started taking it kind of seriously in high school when I started thinking about college. And then I just kind of only got hung up on drawing. I'm not much good at any other medium. So it's just putting in, like, hours and hours and hours of practice. I would say get a sketchbook, find a drawing utensil you're comfortable with using, and, you know, set up still lifes. You know, look up like the Proco TV YouTube channel has really great tutorials for, like, foundational drawing stuff, and it's stuff that, like, you know, you'd learn in a school. And it's you know, you can kind of, one of the things I like about drawing is that it's very accessible. It's like all you kind of need is just a pen and a paper and, like, a set of eyes, you know, and just you know, whatever looks interesting to you. Try to it's just trying to figure out what it is, you know, about it that gives it its thingness, you know. And then eventually you just get so confident you can just rip them straight with pen. But this is, like, you're talking like 25 years down the line here, man. I'm just figuring out how to do this. But yeah, I would just say practice, and try to find people in your area that are into drawing. If there's any drawing clubs, you can check out the local community college. If you are inclined to take classes or can afford to, you can usually find pretty good foundational drawing classes there. I have a Ninja Turtles one-page comic I did. I don't do a lot of Ninja Turtles stuff, but I can grab that real quick if you want to see it. Let me go grab it. Yeah, it's right in here. Here it is. I did a one-page comic for the KFAM Sunday Instagram page. We did like a 24-hour jam comic, and Ninja Turtles was the subject. And I don't know much about Ninja Turtles outside of the movie. There's a scene in the movie at the beginning where they order pizza, and they're in New York City. And of course, why wouldn't you order Domino's pizza in New York City? And then the pizza man slides the pizza down the sewer grate sideways, like you see in this panel here. And that would just completely ruin the pizza, but obviously it doesn't, because in the next scene, the turtles are eating pizza. So the comic is called Sewer Slice, and it's by me, Jason Schoonover. It says ring ring, that's the phone ring. And I don't know if you guys know about old rotary phones, but those are still around in the 80s. And then it says, Domino's Pizza. Can you deliver to 122 and an eighth in 15 minutes? Slide it down the sewer grate. Buddy, we're Domino's. There's nowhere in New York City we can't deliver. Put, 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 put. And then if you are so musically inclined, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme, the da 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 da. And then this is a shot from the movie where he's skateboarding down the sewer towards the grate to get the pizza. We got the pizza guy sliding the, pizza in there. And then the gag I added is the pizza spills all over Ninja Turtle's face. And he said, I said no anchovies. Yeah, that's the only Ninja Turtles thing I've ever done. I don't know much about them. I remember them when I was a kid, and I remember having friends that liked them a lot. I wasn't really allowed to watch them. They were like violent, but I somehow saw the movie. And that was kind of the end of it. But I like that movie a lot. That first movie's incredible. Not even just like as a comic book movie, but as like an indie movie that just got made, for like the amount of money they spent and like having no studio behind it is a pretty good feat. Those costumes still look incredible to this day, I think. And whatever shortcomings those costumes might have had is like so perfectly hidden, using like kind of the simpler, I'll go back to the cartooning thing I was talking about. Like, instead of showing a full-on fight with the turtles and, some robbers in an alley, you get a shot of, the little trident knife. I don't know what they're, a sai. This guy, you get a shot of that taken at a lamp, and then you hear the sound effects of the bad guys getting beat up, and then lights come back on, the bad guys are all tied up. I mean, it's just like a classic thing that just works, and that's kind of like going back to cartooning. That's kind of what you're trying to do with cartooning. So with this drawing, I'm not trying to get like a one-to-one kind of thing, but at the same time, the things that I'm looking at are weight distribution. That's important. You'll find that in cartooning. That's one of the elements that, as controversial as he is, John Kay, the Ren and Stimpy guy, all of his characters have weight distribution, they have skeletal systems, they, as stretched out and cartoony as they get, they're still grounded in some sort of like biological reality within the rules of the cartoon universe, or you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but if you want to get a copy of this, if you go to the KFAM Sunday Instagram page, they have them for free to download, and then any of the artists, we can't sell them or anything because it's somebody's intellectual property. But I don't have any copies. I just didn't order any because I can't sell it, and I don't have any, Ninja Turtles like prints to like sell with it or whatever. I guess I could just like do prints of this comic, but I don't know. That just seems kind of silly. Oh, that would be kind of a cool piece. I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I'll think about it because it would be nice to have that on like my tables and in my shop and stuff. But I also don't want to get pinged for like stealing somebody's IP, which is why I try to do stuff where like I'm the subject. Nobody can really sue me over that or call me to question over that. I took the reference photo with the phone in my pocket. Well, I guess not in my pocket. It's currently being used to live stream. But yeah. Man, we got a lot of people here. 15, 19. Thanks for coming, guys. If you guys got any questions about drawing, I'm happy to explain this process, or if you got any questions about material. If you're interested in owning original art, I have some pieces for sale in my Shopify. I got a couple of smaller ones I put up there recently for under $100. Actually, let me go grab this. I got the audience. I'll show them off. You guys might like them. Since you guys are comic book people, I got a couple of Batman drawings actually for sale. And, yeah, here they are. Oh, I got a few actually. I forgot I didn't put this one on my Shopify yet, but if you DM me on Instagram, I can, I guess first come, first serve. But this one I have in my Shopify. I drew the scene from The Dark Knight Returns. And it's, Batman, super mutant, wrestling in the mud. And I took the dialogue. It says, "You don't get it, boy. This isn't a mud hole. It's an operating table." And then you got the mutant. I've always been drawing since I was a kid. I think, just like anybody. And then I just kept on doing it. It was the only thing I really kind of enjoyed, I guess. That was like an activity that I felt like I was getting good at. This is Batman dressed up as the bag lady from Dark Knight Returns, and his thief. "You're a thief. 7-Eleven sells this for $2.50, so he lets him have a couple batarangs. Yeah, I'm selling this one for $100. I think this one's $50, and then this one I haven't listed yet. I drew a scene from one of the Brave and the Bold old archived Batman comics or whatever. This one's $75, but this one's not on my Shopify yet, but if you like it, you can always DM me on Instagram. We'll work something out. Yeah, back to drawing. But why I started drawing, there's no real short answer to that. What did I do with my pen? Oh man, that would be a disaster if I lost my pen. It's somewhere around here. But I started drawing. I've always drawn as a kid. I remember in middle school when Dragon Ball Z got really big. We would print out, all the posters that were online and stuff and draw those. So I had a folder of Dragon Ball Z drawings, which I no longer have. I wish I did. What did I do with my pen? This is insane. This is very embarrassing. I lost my pen while I'm live streaming. And I actually got a good audience here. Got a good audience yesterday too, but I didn't embarrass myself yesterday. Let me retrace my steps. I apologize. I probably put it down in the bedroom. Did I? Yes, I did. I found it. Crisis averted. But yeah, I just always done it. I liked comic books as a kid and stuff. I didn't read them super religiously, but anyone that I could kind of get my hands on, I'd read them over and over. I liked Batman a lot. I had a subscription to Spider-Man for a little bit around the early 2000s when John Romita Jr. and J. Michael Straczynski, I think, was writing it. John Romita Jr. was the artist on it. So yeah, I don't know. I've kind of drifted in and out of comics, and then I've always kind of gravitated towards art as a kid. I did pretty well in art classes and stuff. I took AP art in 12th grade, which was fun. I really loved my high school art teacher. She was fantastic. She was this old, wasn't even old at the time. She's old now, but she was this Long Island lady. So she had this really mean affectation, but she's actually really nice, and there's a sense of irony to the meanness. So at first, if you don't know her and you don't really give her a chance, you don't really like her. But if you kind of stick around or put forth a little effort and maybe even give her a little bit of pushback, she wound up being pretty cool. But I'd eat lunch in her classroom every day. That was always fun. So I think a lot of it is I just kind of kept with it because it was just a very comfortable thing for me to do. It was I enjoyed it a lot in high school. That's primarily where most of my friends came from. I went to college. I wasn't really interested in doing anything in college, and ended up just doing studio art. Started with graphic design and just wasn't terribly good at it. And I didn't really like any of the computer stuff, to be honest with you. But I'm glad I took it because like now I can use those skills to like format my own books and like have like a little bit of a handle for like what I'm doing when it comes to that. Like it might not be the most professional thing, but it looks pretty decent, I think. I wouldn't scoff at it if I came across something of that quality somewhere. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a comfortable thing, and then over the years I just always kept a sketchbook, and the last few, it's just been, I don't know, it's been kind of irresistible to do. I just got really, really back into it since like maybe 2019, 2020. I got really, really back into drawing, and the Cartoonist Kayfabe channel kind of planted the idea in my head that like, maybe I can try putting out my own books or comic books, and I've kind of done that, and that kind of gives you a little boost when you start, when you start putting your stuff in print or whatever, and then you start going out and showing it to people, and then that's, as when you're an adult, I think it's also important to have something like that. I have two young children, so to be able to have like kind of an outlet where I can just kind of zone out for a little bit, but also still be productive, and then take what I do here and bring it to a public space, and then meet other people who are similarly minded, but maybe working in different mediums, or I don't know. It's just it's a good outlet for not only like mentally, but like I think socially as well. Because I think as an adult, and especially the more you take on responsibilities, your kind of friend group, it shrinks. And we've also moved out of state. Used to be in Florida, now we're in South Carolina. So it's it gets a little difficult. But having something like this gives you a reason to go out. That's not just like, I'm gonna just go out to the bar and see who I meet. Which is, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just not that type of guy. I've never been good at that. Whenever I do something like that, I find I probably do it in excess, so it's best to not really push that. But yeah, long story short, it's just a really good outlet. Yeah, we're bouncing around. Welcome everybody. I appreciate everybody coming by. If you got any questions about what I'm drawing or what I'm using or why I'm drawing what I'm drawing, feel free. We're just starting with a blank page here today and ripping it with a fountain pen. I am drawing, right now I'm working on an Inktober prompt. The prompt is Crystal, and it's sourced from the Mobius inspired list over on the Mobius production page. And so for this one, I decided, I Googled the word crystal. I was like, oh, I don't know, what about crystals? Let's find pictures of crystals. And I came across like crystal caves. And I thought it might be cool if maybe I was sitting in front of a crystal campfire in a crystal cave. So we're just going to kind of riff on that and see how far we can take it. Try to keep it simple, but, nevertheless, see if we can make that simplicity appear complicated. So I don't know what these crystals are going to look like here. I'm just going to be making this up as I go along. I have a vague idea for like how it should look, but I might have drawn this figure a little too low and a little to the left, but that's okay. We're going to figure it out. These are kind of the boxes you put yourself in when you dive in with ink. You try your best to like eyeball it, but whatever you kind of put down, you're committed to, and that's fine. you know, you just got to make it work. I think that's one of the things that kind of attracts me to this medium and just diving right in. But we're just going to riff it, man. We'll see how this looks. You might see me mess this whole thing up on live, and that's fun too. Either way, it was fun. I got to draw, and I don't know, maybe you guys got to kill some time, and hopefully you enjoyed it. I certainly enjoy seeing the numbers go up and down. What are you guys all up to? Where are you all at today? I'm in South Carolina. Where are you all holding it down? Idaho. What's going on in Idaho? What's the haps? You guys got any crystal caves in Idaho? Oh, my day's going pretty good. Nothing too eventful. Just worked on a commission. I'm at the end stages of that where I'm just putting watercolor washes on it and then allowing those to dry and then doing another watercolor, just kind of layering stuff, and it's out of the tedious phase. Ooh, we kind of botched this one. That's okay. It's a crystal. It can look however it needs to look. We'll cover that up with another one. Yeah, it's not really much to report here either. Just kind of hanging out, finishing up a commission, starting a pitch for another commission. I'm putting together a pitch for a different commission, and let's see, I dropped off a drawing for a local art exhibit I was invited to participate in yesterday. That was fun. The person curating it paired local artists up with different local writers, and we were given a passage to kind of interpret however we wanted to. And there's multiple mediums of artists involved in this, so it should be a very interesting show. I chose to do like a very on the nose, like comic book page interpretation of it. I'd show you, but I no longer have the drawing with me. It's lying in wait for the show. It is out of my hands. Hopefully it sells. That would be nice. Although, who knows? It's a pretty niche thing. I can understand if it doesn't, but you never know. You might find somebody, you might get the right crowd there. This one's looking a little strange, but that's okay. Let's start another one over here. Might be okay if they look a little strange, though. You know, maybe like fire's like a little unruly. Not a lot of caves in Idaho. What do you guys got a lot of in Idaho? Fields, I imagine, right? I bet your state rule or your state fair rules. For some reason, the Idaho State Fair sounds like it would be really fun. Potatoes, yeah. Are your state fairs like really potato heavy? Do they have like a look at the largest potato ever grown kind of thing exhibit at your state fair? Because I'd love to see something like that. That's sick. I love that. Let's see. Every year. Are you always amazed by how big the potatoes get? Like, wow, that's one big potato. Did the potatoes get bigger every year, or do they just kind of vary in size depending on the harvest and the skill of the potato grower? And then you just kind of average that out for like the average size of a large potato. That's pretty sick, man. I wish we had that here. I'm trying to think of what like the local flavor is for South Carolina's state fair, but it's I'll be honest, it's fun to go to, but it just seems like a carnival that just kind of, you know, one of those like carnivals that just kind of pull into town. Maybe slightly less sketchy, but because it's state sponsored. But I don't know. I feel like it could be better. I like the to go to the art exhibits there, and because it's just a bunch of local artists and like anybody can enter. And I've known a few people who've sold pieces there. I just need to get a piece in there. I've not been good about that. Most of the stuff I do is too small, I think. They kind of stay the same. Yeah. I guess once they figure out the trick for growing big potatoes, you don't really go back on it. And I guess you got plenty of time to tweak it and be like, oh, let's see if we can get bigger potatoes, or, well, we can't. Let's just yield the same size biggins from last year. That's that's what I imagine potato farmers talk about, is potato sizes and stuff. That's cool. So are you named the game because of that like, oh, if you think of the game you lost thing? Or is it the game like the rapper? Some action lines. So I want that kind of shining that way. And let's go back into here so we can fill in the space around there. Oh, okay. What other games do you play? What's your favorite right now? What's the good one everybody's getting at? Is it still Fortnite and Among Us? Fortnite. Okay, yeah, man, that's been going strong for a while. Like right about when I got out of playing video games, that was like coming on. I've never been good at first person shooters, which is why I never got like into it, especially like competitive ones or multiplayer ones. I always got wrecked in like Call of Duty and stuff. Um, I did play a decent amount of that though when I had a 360. That was pretty fun. Oh yeah, that's going too far. So we can hide this in shadow because this leg. Oh, you know what? Ah, no, that's okay. We're still gonna hide this in shadow. That'll be good enough. I tried to play that. What was that? Starfield or whatever. I couldn't get into that. It seemed too freaking tedious to me. I couldn't handle it. I'm an old man now. I like to spend hours doing this, and my kid's like, "This is boring. This is boring." So I'm sorry. Let me just finish this for a minute. There we go. That was pretty good. Oh, sick. Do you just do like Let's Plays, or do you review stuff? Or is it like a news and culture kind of thing? What kind of content you putting out there? Little of everything. Well, I guess if anybody here's into games, check out the Games YouTube account. He does a little bit of everything. I haven't seen it personally, so I can't endorse it, but I can say he does have one. He told me about it, and he's been pretty active in the chat, so he can't be all that bad. I'm sure his content's good. I'll have to check it out later. I don't watch a lot of gaming content, but occasionally it sneaks in there, and then that's my algorithm. But yeah, I'll check it out. Oh, we got a little bit of a shadow here. Let's just hatch that in. Drink of water. So if you're just joining us, today's Inktober prompt is crystal, and I'm drawing myself sitting around a crystal campfire because that sounded like a novel idea to me. And once again, I do thank everybody for stopping by. This is a very fun stream. Ah, you hitting the short. So I hear that's what works for the algorithm. Although this is the second day in a row I've live streamed, and it's been pretty successful. I might have to do this more often. I like talking with everybody. It's a lot of fun. All right, so now we gotta figure out, like, if we're in a cave here, we need to put some like big crystals on here. So maybe like, and then maybe some like little crystals popping out of there, like pew pew. I feel like there's usually like little clusters of crystals. Let me pull up a little. I feel like I'm having trouble with some of the what do you call it? Perspective of this, but I guess it's just like literally just kind of shards. There's no rhyme and reason for some of it. Although they say it is like organized, which, yeah, I guess so. It compresses itself to where it's organized. Let's see. Y'all into crystals? I guess since we're drawing crystals, some people like those a lot. They'll pay top dollar for a good crystal. What do they like, Helia or something? Rub them on your cysts and they go away. I could have used that a couple weeks ago. Where are all the crystal mommies? Rub crystals on my cysts. I'm going to be laughing about that for a little bit. Sorry. I'll try not to say it again because I understand that is gross and nobody wants to hear about that. So I'll have maybe this crystal like this. And we could do like crystal texture on here. It looks like it'd just be like kind of almost like a crosshatch. You just do maybe one way and then have it interrupted a little bit. And then maybe you do like a shine like right here. That's probably what these are missing too. It's like a little psh, 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 psh. That's like my favorite thing to draw. How did I not think to include that? Chat got me distracted. Got me talking about cysts. The Gamers S6i. So if any of y'all like games, check out the shorts on his channel. He does a little bit of everything. Culture, news, reviews. As much as you can cram into a short, he does it. I have not personally seen it. I do mean to check it out. He's been very active in the chat and very kind. I think he's from Idaho. So, you know. You can't go wrong with that, right? Yeah, we're just riffing here. This isn't my best one so far, but I'm happy with it. I think once I fill out the rest of the page, you can kind of ignore some of the missteps here. Especially if I kind of keep it clean like this and just kind of work with a dark, medium, and then white, kind of just three-tone, kind of, you know, whatchamacallit. Palette, I don't know, it's not a palette 'cause I'm not using color. But it's just three tones, I guess. And then if I keep doing these little blings here, I think that would be good. Let's put another one right here. Let's put a smaller one here. but it would be pretty neat. So one of the other things I've done in my other drawings, I like drawing these because they're really fun to do with the fountain pen. You can make them real radiating. I'll show you what I like to do with them, actually. I got a couple of drawings in here. This was from yesterday, so like something like this, you know, I like to let them dictate and then just get darker and darker because you draw lines in the middle of each line as it radiates out. You just kind of fit them together. I got another one that's kind of like that too. Where'd it go? The old star, where is it? There it is. Like that one's kind of like that too, where like each point kind of has a little bling and, you know, kind of radiates out. And then I made them all overlap so that we'd get real dark. But that one I might try to develop into a bigger drawing, actually. That one would look pretty cool, I think, on a really big piece of Bristol board. All right, so let's kind of follow this up. Lift up the hand, and this comes to about right here. And then we can say this goes to about right here. And perhaps we can even have like an extra little divot right here, because why not? It's our crystal. It can look however we want. Isn't that right? And it doesn't have to make 100% sense. It just has to look interesting. Maybe I don't overdo the ones here because you definitely want to keep like a point of light. And I think the more you put dark down, as I put more pen lines down there, it kind of takes away from that because it darkens it because you're using the ink there to do so. And like that, and then maybe have one. Oop, that one got a little crooked. That's okay. Maybe we got one peeking out over here. That looks a little strange, but that's okay. It kind of looks like that one I did over there. I guess I have a problem if they're coming at me like that. But, you know, we're going to go with it. I don't care. That one looks like it's going to bonk me on the head. Yeah, a few missteps here and there, but, you know, it's fine. We'll hide them. And then maybe we have... So let's see, that ground would probably come back. It would be pretty neat to have it recede a little bit. Or like, what if this crystal structure was built into a different crystal structure and it just kept coming down? I mean, it is our crystal after all. We might as well lean into how weird it looks. And then we can shade it properly so it looks like it's behind us. All right. Ooh, fancy cars. What's the fanciest car in your opinion? Probably makes sense for the horizon to be like right there. So let's start. Ooh, I mean, the name of that sounds super fancy. The Monte Carlo Luxury Sport. What are some of the features in that make it the fanciest car to you? Does it have ashtrays, like the old style ones? How gnarly are the seat belts in that thing? Nice. Does he let you take it out like if you got a date or something? Has he got hydraulics in it? Is that what that is? Or is it just got no shocks? That's cool. Yeah, you don't see stuff like that too much anymore, man. That's really neat. Every now and again, I see something like that, and it really is a head turner. Hydroelectric, wow. What does that? What does that mean when it comes to a car, though? How does that work? Oh, you're still a kid. Okay, so you're not driving it yet. Is he going to give it to you when you're 16? You might have to get to work on him. Make sure you inherit that thing. I'm just kidding. Don't plot against your parents, folks. I don't know what your situation is, but we'll just leave that be. I feel like YouTube doesn't like me addressing stuff like that. We're drawing here, drawing crystals. Oh, hydraulics. Okay. I thought I was like, man, so it's hydroelectric? How like even that? I'm still liking that phrase, hydroelectric powered car. It's a car that also has like its own dam system built into it. You know, like a mini hydroelectric power plant, and it's just all built in. There was some scam on the internet back when gas was like super expensive. I mean, I know the game here is a. He says he's a kid, so he'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But during the Bush presidency, when the height of the Iraq War, like gas got really really expensive, and there was like this scam going around the internet where this guy was like, "Yeah, man, we can like make your car run on water," and I think what he would do is he'd like come to your house and like duct tape mason jars of water like to your engine or something, and you have to pay him like $500. I don't know. It was such a dumb scam. I don't know if it was real or not, but I choose to believe yes, it was real, and there might have been people that fell for it. You know, I think that's pretty wild. The internet in its infancy almost. Maybe not infancy, but certainly foreshadowing things to come. Goofing off on the internet. Can't do that like you used to, I'll tell you. It is very dumb. Look it up. I'm pretty sure that's a real thing that happened. Like a water powered car scam 2003, 2004, maybe something like that. Um, yeah, I remember hearing about that. But there was a lot of stuff you heard about back in the day. And sometimes you'd hear it on the internet, or you'd hear it like somebody heard it on the internet and told you. It wasn't like today where it's like you kind of have seeds of a little bit of everything planted in your brain. So when somebody mentions something, you're like, oh, yeah, I heard that. Um, Back then, stuff like that was novel to hear about. All right, this is kind of a fun, abstract way of finishing it here. And I think what we'll do is we'll just do different values in between all these like crystalline shards here. Maybe have this one extend upwards. And then perhaps that should be good. All right, well, let's just work on value, I guess, here. We'll start hatching that in. If you guys are just arriving, I see we got the audience kind of fluctuating, working on an Inktober drawing. The prompt is crystal. So I've drawn myself sitting as if by a campfire, but it's made out of crystals. And we're in a crystal cave, and we're having a fantastic time. I feel like I'm blue-collar Dr. Manhattan over here, just camping out in my crystal cave. I'm not trying to build no castle. I just want a nice little cave. Nice little crystal fire to hang out by. It sounds pretty cozy, right? You guys are into internet's into cozy things. Y'all got a crystal cave in your mind you go to? If you don't, you should. It's free. You can imagine anything you like. Who's gonna stop you? Alrighty, very good. Drink a water here. If you haven't drank some water today, here's your reminder. Get a little bit of water in you. It's good for you. You might have a little bit of a headache. Have a little bit of water. Don't put anything in it. Just plain water. Take it raw. It's good. It's delicious. It's refreshing. It's good for you. Your body needs it. The Good Times Car Club. Does he have a good time there? Yeah. I suppose he probably would if he kept going to it. That's the same thing too. You know, I bet your dad's probably got a similar thing with the cars as I do with the drawing. You know, when you get to be an adult, you got to have something either you're interested in or something to work on. You got to have some sort of project you give yourself, because it's, especially in this day and age, it's way too easy to just sit down and veg out and watch reels or the TV. What, I mean, my day it was the TV, but now it's this short form, gamified, hypnotizing stuff with the algorithm and the blue light, and it's no good for you. So you should have a, not you should, but I think my experience is that when you get to a certain age, it's kind of beneficial to have something to kind of work on, you know? It helps keep you plugged in to like real life, and helps make friends. It's good to have friends. Nice. Sick car, man. But yeah, ask your dad. I bet he would tell you that. Not only does he enjoy the cars, but he probably has a bunch of buds that he looks forward to seeing, and probably makes plans with outside of the car stuff. It's an important thing to have as you get older. Best lowrider. Sick. What are the conditions for winning best lowrider? Is it like a limbo contest? How low can you go? Or do they do the jump thing with the hydraulics? They see who could jump the highest. Can the cars dunk from the free throw line like Jordan? That would be pretty cool if you can get cars to dunk from the free throw line like Jordan. It's Lightning McQueen from downtown, shattering the backboard. The whole stadium cars going wild. Oh, you just kind of win. You just like show up and like, yeah, man, you won. You get the best one. Yeah, really hot that day, and competition was fierce, but by God, I won the lowrider contest. By God, did I show them who was boss with my lowrider. Oh, I rode it so low. You could barely fit a piece of paper under it. Sorry, I'm not making fun of you or nothing. I just riffing. It gives me something to do here while I draw. Yeah, this one's turning out okay. This might not be my favorite of the month, but it's not bad. I think once I get it all worked out, and it'll be a little better. If we can get the direction of the lines to work together too, I think that would be ideal. Oh, what the heck was that? Huh, must have ran over like a... Oh, you know what? I bet it was probably just a piece of salt. Yeah, from when I was seasoning my watercolors. That's probably what it was. What's everyone doing for Halloween this year? We Halloweening it up? We getting dressed? Going to parties, trick-or-treating? What are we doing? I'm probably just going to take the kids trick-or-treating. Well, that doesn't really look like a crystal. I'm really messing this up. This is a botch job. That's all right. I think it'll be fine. That's a dark crystal. But you know what? You're seeing it live here, folks. Sometimes the drawing goes, sometimes it don't. And this one's kind of halfway. We're going to continue going because, you know. Yeah, I'm just taking the kids trick-or-treating probably. Or hanging out and passing out the candy, whatever one. One of us will do one and one of us will do the other. Yeah, this one's not going too well. I'm not super happy with this one. It might be hitting the wall with this one. I might have to. Yeah, we'll see. Let's keep it. Let's keep at it. It's not yet done. Let's start on this side, and we'll come at it at a different angle, and maybe we'll figure out what we're doing over here, and then we can just ignore this mess over here. I'm not super happy with that. Let's come at this a little bit more simply. Like maybe use more of these directional hatching lines. I think that would be better. Yeah, too much goofing off. That's what I did. Too much goofing off here. But you know what? It was fun. I enjoyed it. I hope the chat did too. Somebody getting me to write Among Us and Wampus and what is Wampus? What is that? Is that a new thing? Is that a Fortnite thing? Do you guys try to get your teachers to say like Fortnite stuff or Among Us stuff, or is Minecraft still a thing? I remember when I was in high school one time we had a substitute teacher, and one of the kids, when the substitute teacher had her back turned, just threw his textbook and it slammed against the chalkboard. It was pretty awful, but at the time it was funny, you know. It's Lord of the Flies when you get a substitute teacher. Yes. Ah, thought so. I knew it. Let's make this very dark back here. As if perhaps this crystal is concealed a little bit by darkness. That'll be fine. I think we can hide a lot of that by doing that. We'll solve this problem somehow. I mean, I kind of like this one just kind of peeking in from the darkness here. We could probably do away with all this. Just make this the crystal here. See, there's always solutions to it. You know, and you saw me almost want to give up too, so it's you gotta kind of resist that urge. There's usually something that can be done. Let's take another drink of water together. Everybody get your water out. Cheers, everybody. Here's to staying hydrated. Yeah, this will end up being probably a little bit messier looking pen drawing, but sometimes they're like that. It's all right. I don't mind. just make those ones darker. They'll recede more. That'll be fine. And then I kind of like this one popping in. I don't know. I mean, it's still not my favorite one I've done, but it's not bad. This is definitely a tougher one, though. I don't really draw a lot of geometric stuff. I like more... I mean, crystals are obviously organic because they're made out of rocks or whatever. But, I don't know. I like drawing people more. That's my favorite thing to draw. One little trick you can do is, if you've been drawing for a while, you kind of just figure out things you like to draw, and you get pretty good at doing them. And sometimes those things are interesting, and people like those things too. So if you ever need to put something in your drawing to distract from an area that you don't want people paying too close attention to, do stuff. Pull those old tricks out of the toolbox. You know, they're there for a reason. In this case, we want this thing to look like it's shining, so, you know, we'll just kind of have that butt up against here arbitrarily and darken a wee bit. I don't think I particularly executed that too well, so whatever. A little cast shadow for this one. It's probably going to end up looking crazy. Yeah, it's not too bad. This can kind of extend. Yeah, this is going to be all black. We can kind of extend that way, and we'll just kind of have it be an extension of those arrays there. You know, it's fine. It's fine. This one would probably benefit from like drawing it again, you know, now that I've like done all this stuff that I feel like I shouldn't have. You know, at least like even if you do a bad drawing or whatever, something you're not like 100% pleased with, it at least like kind of gets you in the direction of like, okay, well, now I know kind of how this should look or how I would want it to look now that I've done these other kind of experiments with it. So it's all beneficial, you know. That's why it's in the sketchbook. I mean, it's for working out ideas and for failing and trying again. I guess this one I've kind of established a little bit of the cross hatching, so I might as well stick with it a little bit. I don't know, it's still not like my favorite, but it's fine. Oop, sorry. Apologize about that. Didn't mean to lose you there. We could probably fix this in the shading. This is draw a straight line from point A to point B, and then this will just get buried behind here as this starts to darken here. We'll start to move these lines closer together as they recede. Nice, 2 of your shorts with your friend. Well, you know, that's good. You gotta hang with your pals, man. It's good to be social. Although maybe try see if you can hang out without doing shorts. What do you guys got in common? You know, what are you gonna do together? Ride bikes or I don't know. That being said, I'm glad you're here watching me, I guess. Sedentary activity like mine relies on viewership. Nice. Hey, it was no judgment, man. There we go. Yeah, that's kind of fine. You get a good push and pull with it. I think the idea more or less communicates. Could be clearer, but it is what it is. That's the challenge. I'd say this is maybe a C minus. But it's passing, so we're turning it in. Okay. I think what we'll do is just kind of darken all this back here. Just kind of get rid of it. This is a real false start here. And then we'll just kind of darken this too. But maybe some of it will be coming through. It's okay. All right, we might be finishing up here, folks. I think I'm about at the end of this drawing. I filled up the page more or less. I suppose I should probably sign it and put what it is and the date and stuff. So let's go and write down here. Inktober. Mobtober. That's the Mobius inspired prompt list. Mobtober 2024. Hashtag Mobtober 24. And what number is this? What is today's date? The 25th. So tomorrow's the 26th. So this is prompt 26. So we're working ahead here. And it is crystal. And, oh, you know what else we got to do? We got to hide my name somewhere in the hatching. Let's find a good spot. Oh, I don't have a lot of good spots. You know what? Here we go. Here's a good spot. All right, here's where we're going to put it. Come on, phone. There we go. I'll put it right here. Kind of have it a little bit of a J shape right here. So J, A, S, O, N. Jason. There we go. And then we will sign it right here. And then I said today's the 25th, I believe. Yes, it is. All right, everybody. I appreciate y'all stopping by. Nice active chat. If you don't subscribe to me on Instagram, please do at schoon.art, SCHOON.art. Links right in the description. If you're interested in owning original art or any of my zines, they're just basically little books, $5 a piece. I got a couple of art books and a comic for sale in my shop. Link in the description as well. And yeah, thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you guys next time.